This is the difference between men and women. But if Zach did this while I was at home with the children, no. And if you want to get anywhere near my labia in the future, you know what you have to do.
Hi, welcome to another hour. Another hour.
Welcome back to the Nappy Hour, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me fill them full of shit advice. Hi, welcome back to another episode. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Can we just laugh at this girl, this DM that I got? I was laughing about it on Close Friends, but I do feel like I need to share it with you guys as well. She messaged me on the back of a post that I was talking about my meal prep that I was doing. She says, you know how I know the female brain is trash? I'm looking at you struggling to breathe with a beach ball belly and it's making me think, damn, maybe I should have a third. Struggling to breathe with a beach ball belly. I can't get those words out my craw. Like it's stuck. It keeps me awake at night. Struggling to breathe with a beach ball belly. Beach ball belly. Like it's not a cute look, is it? Struggling to breathe with a beach ball belly. Okay. Someone hates me. Someone wants to ruin my day. You know what's mad? The fact that like we were just for years putting products on our skin that no one thought to check the ingredients of. How funny is that? Could you imagine the shock of the first person that turned over the deodorant packet and saw aluminium in the ingredients list? Do you seriously mean I have just been spraying metals into my skin and no one thought to tell me? In a world where it feels like we are constantly being blindsided by companies telling us to use these products when secretly they're really toxic for us, I rest easy at night knowing that I am only putting Nomcos on my skin. A brand that prides themselves in using only the essential ingredients, no filler products, no metals, no, sneaky little ingredients that are secretly giving us cancer behind our backs. Their products are all vegan and cruelty free, but the best part about this brand is that it's built by real people and their genuine need for the products that worked. So everything has been tried and tested, formulated by them, tried and tested on them, and hand poured and made in Manchester. So when you order from Nomcos, you are literally buying directly from Demeji and Saffron. They are the ones in the lab cooking up your lip balms, cooking up your moisturizers, hand pouring themselves and packing them out to you with love, care, and attention. And luckily, you can try these products and fall in love with them just like I did by using my code Miranda for 10% off at checkout. That is Miranda, just my name, Miranda, for 10% off at checkout. My favorite products that they do are easily the deodorant. It is my favorite natural deodorant that I have ever used, and the Cloud body butter. It literally goes on your skin like butter, but it absorbs into the skin. So you don't get that oily, greasy feeling. You just feel so moisturized for over 24 hours. The first time I used this moisturizer, I could not believe it. I put it on my skin in the morning, and then the next night, I hadn't showered, classic me, but the next night I was lying in bed and I was like, why is my skin feeling so good? And I realized it's because I wasn't using my dusty, crusty moisturizer I was using before. I was using Nomcos Cloud body butter. I met my friend Saffron in town and I gave her a hug and I was just touching her arm and I was like, what is that on your skin? And she was like, it's Nomcos. And that is when she handed me a pot, my first pot of this body butter. And I've been a firm believer in it ever since. I cannot recommend it enough. Use my code Miranda and get 10% off at checkout, all right? I have a bit of an issue right now. I didn't put a pad in my pants, and sometimes when I like project my voice or I laugh, a little bit of vaginal discharge like squirts out. That is the point of pregnancy where we're at. So I'm thinking, do I run upstairs and get a pad and put it in? Or do I just squirt all over this ball? I guess I'm squirting on some balls. Welcome back. What an intro. The vaginal discharge is an issue though, guys. I really don't know what to do about it. I mean, thank God this pregnancy is almost over. I'm just thinking, let's just ride it out. We're destroying my pants. But it used to be like I would laugh and like we would come out, right? But now it is vaginal discharge and it's a problem. I'm soaking through my trousers. I got to soft play the other day. There was a party that we were going to and I got to the soft play and straight away I said hi, had a little laugh, all in my pants. And I had to run to the toilet and like wipe myself down. Also, the colour is a little bit worrying. Like it is, when I look at the pad, it is a little bit green. A little bit neon green. And when I Google it, it obviously says, you've got an infection. You've got an infection. You need to go to the GP now. But I don't feel like I have an infection. I don't smell like I have an infection. So I'm just putting it down to, I'm really pregnant. And what are you going to do? So I'm just leaving it. I'm at that weird stage in my pregnancy where I'm like just waiting to go into labor. I'm hoping that I don't, but I'm just like anticipating it, you know? Every night I go to bed and I'm like, will I give birth tonight? Won't I? Will I? Won't I? But then I do think I haven't lost my mucus plug yet. And I feel like surely I need to lose my mucus plug first. And then I know like, oh, got a few days from now until I go into labor. Sorry, we have really just jumped straight into like the TMI, haven't we? We've been here for about what, 2 minutes? Not even. And I've spoken about vaginal discharge and my mucus plug. I hope you're not eating. So yeah, I'm at this weird stage where I'm waiting to go into labor, but I'm feeling weirdly anxious in this stage of pregnancy. The reason that I am feeling anxious is because I technically could go into labor anytime, but I really don't want to. Like, I'm not done with this pregnancy yet. Not because I'm like having the best time ever being pregnant. No, like I'm kind of like, it's hard and I'm uncomfortable. I can't deal with my pubes because I can't see them. I have an ingrown hair and I was getting Zach to look at it for me like, is this bad? Do I need to pull this out? Because I couldn't see it. You know, I'm at that stage of my pregnancy where I can't see my feet, but we are physically not ready to have a baby in this house yet. There's just stuff that we need to do. Zach's working still. Like it would be a really bad time for her to arrive in the next like week or two, to be honest. I'm kind of hoping that I can get to like 42 weeks. 42 weeks would be ideal. Basically, our situation is a little bit tricky with Zach being self-employed. So the plan was, you know, don't book any work in October. Then you're just there for paternity and to help out with Woody and do all the rest and, you know, just help me out. But then that's not how self-employed life works. So work was a little bit quiet for a couple of weeks. And then as a self-employed person, you then have to make up for that, for those lost hours by working extra hours. And it just so happens that he has been offered loads of jobs right when I give birth. So he starts this job tomorrow and he turned to me the other day and he was like, no pressure, babe, but every day that you don't give birth, we get paid more. So I was like, okay, cool. And this job that he's been signed on for technically finishes on October the 9th. Now she is due October 5th, but on my calculation, the due date that I calculated with my period and also, not my period, the insemination day, the day that we conceived was actually October 10th. If she arrives October 10th, that is mwah, 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 mwah. Bellissimo, perfect. Go on, baby girl, you can do this. So that's my goal, to make it to October 10th. But the way that my body's feeling right now, I would be very surprised. Last night I was up all night. I don't know what it was like. I needed to poo. I just needed to poo. I was thinking, is this labor? Am I going into labor right now? And that was like the first night where I felt like physically uncomfortable. I was up all night in child's pose, just tooting and fruiting away next to my husband. What boy? I was farting so much that he like woke up out of his slumber and he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you okay? Do we need to go to A&E?" I was like, "Sorry, babe. I think it's the knocky." So obviously going into baby number 2, I'm wondering how different they're going to be and what sort of different decisions I am going to make as a parent, depending on, you know, the baby's natural temperament. I think with Woody, we really, really lucked out with his temperament. Like, he was just so chill. I could pass this boy to anyone. I could literally pass him to anyone on the street and just walk away, and he would just be smiling and chill. He would just relax. And, you know, we didn't have to co-sleep. I was able to breastfeed really easily. I was able to baby wear, because I know lots of babies don't actually enjoy baby wearing, which I find really strange, but he loved it. We're able to sleep train within a couple days, you know, so we had a pretty easy time of it with Woody. And I'm kind of wondering, like, how am I going to cope if that baby is not so chill? And so I asked my mum group on Instagram what decisions you had made previously, like pre having a baby, and how those decisions changed once you got hit with reality after that baby arrived. So let's have a little look at what some of the mummies said. So the question was, what parenting decision did you swiftly change your mind on once you became a parent? I'm thinking sleep training, screen time, dummies, feeding, routines, literally anything, and why. One mummy says, I don't think I ever had the expectation of what I would or wouldn't do when I first became a mum. What I will say is each child I thought I'd do everything the same with, but realised that what works for one child doesn't necessarily mean it will work for the other, regardless of being essentially raised the same. The children I had in my 20s have definitely been raised differently than the ones I had in my 30s. I think all expectations go out the window and you just do what works best for you and your little ones, be it co-sleeping, screen time, dummies, exclusively breastfeeding, bottle feeding, mixed feeding, sleep training, etc. Never say never, because you just don't know. This is so true. Another mummy says, processed food, introducing solids with no support and low income. I was pulling my hair out at 6 months, which in hindsight was unnecessary. This was totally rooted in lack of education. I saw videos of other babies my son's age eating bountiful amounts online, and I'd stress each baby, aka human, is unique. Some days I'd make fresh purees from scratch and feel like I'd failed the days I didn't cook whole foods. Our children undeniably deserve the best, and I wanted to protect his gut microbiome from all the hidden rubbish in our food because I don't trust the system. I had to pep talk myself. This organic baby food ain't gonna kill him. Now he's one. He eats whatever I eat. That includes sliced bread, butter, oat milk. Gosh, so many everyday staples which are processed. Any other mamas out there at the beginning of this stage, I speak of, trust your baby and their body. This was something that I had to really, really grapple with when I was weaning my son. And I've spoken about this a lot on here, actually, the struggle that I had because I wanted to be that mum that was just like blending up peas with breast milk and my son was gobbling it up, and I tried it. It didn't work. So then I resorted to, snacks, and he just was not interested in food at all. But I had to at least just remember that I tried my best. And I think every baby comes to food differently. Some babies are just not asked. And I think this next baby, I would like to think I'm going to be a little bit more relaxed when it comes to weaning. I've watched my friend Saffron wean her second baby. It's been so chill. Like, we've just been sat in the kitchen and she just hands her half a raspberry. And then Yara was like, nom, 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 nom. Oh yeah, you could do that. I think I put this whole pressure on it, like, you've got to set him up with the table and the apron and all the utensils, and then you must model the feeding yourself and all this. Like, just shut up, just hand them a raspberry and then get on with it. This mummy says, I had planned to breastfeed for a year, as that was how long I was breastfed for, but I was a member of a breastfeeding peer support group in the city, and I was living it at the time and learned about the benefits of natural term breastfeeding, how it's only in recent history and the marketing of formula and mainly Western cultures that breastfeeding to a natural term has been shunned. This mummy says, for me, it started at birth with an unmedicated birth. Give me all that remifentanil all day long. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed, but my supply had other plans, so I combi fed. Everything is about balance, really. Screen time in my house. I remember in those early mornings, like when me and Zach were up at 5, we'd stick In the Night Garden on and we'd just fall asleep on the sofa. And that was what we had to do to survive. That's okay. Woody's never had like an iPad or a tablet. But again, that is only because I believe that he has the natural temperament that I don't need it. Whereas I know kids that need stimulation like all the time. And it's hell for the parents. And so when I see a kid on an iPad, I'm not like, oh my God, I would just never do that. It's like, yeah, baby girl, do what you got to do, okay? And I think that is the moral of the story with parenting. Do what you got to do. I think it's time for Mom Wins. My win this week is that I cancelled my gym membership. This is exactly the kind of thing that I wouldn't do. I would let, 4 months go by of me being postpartum and paying for that gym membership and then thinking, oh, I should probably get back to the gym now. I've been paying out the eyeballs for it. But no, I thought back to that mummy a few weeks ago that I recommended that you cancel your gym membership, and I took a leaf out of my own book and I did it. And I was very proud of myself. Have I ever told you about the time that I was paying for ClassPass for a whole year and didn't realise, oh my God, I didn't used to check this bank account really. Like it was just, I'd get paid into the bank account and then I would just like take money straight out into my other bank accounts and savings and whatever. So I wasn't really paying attention. And then one day I looked in that account and I saw £70 whizzing out my account to ClassPass every month. I thought, how many months has that been going on for? Over a year. Turns out over a year. And so I called them up, really panicked. And I was like, listen, okay. I did not mean to do this. This was a total accident. Luckily, they could see that I hadn't used a single credit. They refunded me straight away. Thank you, ClassPass. My loss this week is that I am sleeping so badly. It gets to about 9 p.m. And I'm like, this is the night. I'm going to get an early night. I'm going to get in bed early and meditate. But then 9 p.m. hits and I'm like, oh, wait, I haven't had a bowl of Cocoa Pops. And then I'll have that bowl of Cocoa Pops. And then I'll have another. And then I'll have another. And then by the time I realize that it's like, 11 o'clock, I'm half a box of Cocoa Pops down, wondering, why can't I sleep? Why do my tummy hurt? Why can't I sleep? It's because you have a litre of oat milk and 300 grams of sugar in your belly trying to digest. No wonder you can't sleep, babe. Is anyone thirsty? Because I think we got some juicy dilemmas to get into. Let's have a sip, shall we? This mummy says, how can I come back from this? Me and my girlfriend went on a bestie trip and left our kids and partners at home. Woo! The dream. What's the problem? How could this possibly go wrong? We hadn't been out of the house in a while and it got a little wild. It was just a 4-day excursion to Ibiza. But even being at the airport, not being weighed down by the buggies and the children just felt so liberating. I don't think I've ever partied so hard in my entire life, and it felt incredible. Babe, I think we've all felt that liberation. Maybe not being in the airport on your own. But I was actually just talking about this to my friend recently. She went to a wedding, sans child, and she was just like in the airport, relaxing, like having a little drink, reading her book, going shopping, trying creams. Like she was just able to just be a person and she just felt so free. So I think we can all relate. I was just walking around Tesco's recently. I felt euphoric. I was, stroking all the bits on the aisles, touching things because my hands were free, because I could. Just me and my bestie with nothing but the wind in our hair, no one needing anything from us, no husbands asking us where anything is before they've even looked. No shit. Why do boys do that? So Zach was in the kitchen and he was in the cupboard. His nose was literally in the cupboard and he was like, where's the all-purpose seasoning? And I was like, I'm in the living room. I'm like, it's in that cupboard. He's like, it's not here. It's literally right in front of you. I can see it from here. And he was like, oh yeah, it's there. But like, why do boys, they're looking for something, but they're not even looking. It's like their eyes just go blank and they just wait for us to tell them where things are. He did it with a lemon the other day. His face was in the fridge and he was like, do we have any lemons? You're the one in the fridge. Why are you asking me if we have any lemons? No poopy butts to wipe. Just 2 mums gone wild in Ibiza, getting shit-faced at breakfast and seeing how many free drinks we could get at night. Turns out, a lot. But in order to get those free drinks, I may or may not have shared a few kisses. Oops. In the moment, it just felt like a laugh. Ibiza is so expensive and there's no way that I can have a good time on my budget. Baby girl, why are we going to Ibiza? If we can't afford to have a good time, go to Skegness. Since getting home, I've been riddled with guilt and anxiety. Will my friend tell her husband? Will he tell my partner? Will it get out some other way in the future? The longer I leave it, the worse this feeling gets. Do I tell him or do I bury it? I'm going to start by saying we do not condone this behavior. It depends on the temperament of your partner. I could fully go to Zach I think, after a girls' holiday and be like, babe, I'm so sorry. It got wild. And I shared a kiss with a few boys to get some free drinks for the girls. I took one for the team and I'm so sorry. And I'm sure he would be like, what's the frick? But then he'd be fine. But I'd say the majority of men would not be like that. She's not come here to be judged by her friends, okay? She's come here to get this off her chest. So no judgment, please, mum friends, right? I think, like I said, we can all relate to having that moment of like being free from your children and your partner, not being weighed down by anything and just like feeling so euphoric. I went to London a few months, maybe a year ago actually, without Woody. And I met my mum friend. She's a true friend, but we usually only see each other with the kids. It's very, very rare that we see each other without the kids. We met for a coffee in London without the kids. And now let me tell you, the way that we were prancing and dancing around these streets, it was like we were on meth. If I could take that feeling and inject it into my veins every day, like I would have an issue. We were literally skipping down the street, waving our arms, we were ruffling our hair. We were just like high. We were physically high because we didn't have any children with us. So I think we can all relate to that feeling that you are describing and how you got yourself into this position. Who am I to go and tell you to confess to your partner? Is your partner your husband? What did you say? Husband? I'm not going to tell you to go and confess to your partner because I don't know how he's going to react to it. But I will say, I don't want to call it meaningless, but like it kind of is it's a meaningless mishap. I think we can name it, right? It's not like you went and forged connections with these guys. This was a means to an end. I wanted a free drink. I didn't have any money. And so I kissed this boy to get a free drink. That's some hard graft you put in there, girl. Just for, I hope it was good. A bottle of something at least for a kiss. You know, you're not having an affair with this person. You're not going off and sleeping with them. It's just a kiss. You know, you take your lips and you just rub them on someone else for a second for a free drink. Like, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. Don't get me wrong. If the shoe was on the other foot, it would be outrageous. That would be outrageous. So Zach, don't get any ideas, okay? Is that double standards? Maybe. I don't think it's equal if the mum goes out and kisses a boy versus a dad goes out and kisses a boy. I don't think it's a trade for trade. And let me tell you why. This is such double standards, but let me explain. I don't think men can necessarily relate to that feeling of euphoria leaving the house without your child because they get to do it a lot more. Right? They get way more opportunities to be their own person once in parenthood than mothers typically do. We deserve a little bit more leeway when we make these kinds of mistakes than men do. Like I can pretty much guarantee that Zach has never really felt that like euphoria going out for a coffee by himself with his friends that are dads. You know, like I can't imagine him literally like skipping around London feeling high on drugs because he's without his family, because he gets to do it more often than say I do. But like, say if he's going to the pub with his friends, it's like, yeah, I'm going to the pub with the boys. Why on earth would I take my child? Whereas if I'm going out for brunch with the girls, it's like, why would you not take your child? Like, where else are you going to put them? Unless they are in your arms. So there's like that expectation for women that we should take our children everywhere with us. And when we don't, everyone's like, where's the child? At home with their dad. But I don't think Zach's ever been asked, like when he's at the pub, where's Woody? Where's Woody? It's like, he's with his mum, obviously. Obviously, he's with his mum. This podcast is supported by the beautiful Estrella Custom Jewelry, giving you minimal and meaningful personalized pieces. Everything is handmade in Portugal. It's a perfect gift either for yourself or someone that you love. When you go to our website, you can shop the collection and personalize your piece with a pendant, choosing the initial on it and the style as well as a stone. I have the emerald quartz gemstone and I wear it every day. I've got a little pendant that says a W on for Woody. I wear it every day. It's become my favorite staple necklace. It's just so simple. It's classy. classy, it's classic, and I never take it off. Use the code NappyHour15 for 15% off at checkout. There's also like this imbalance between men and women once you have children, and it's like this unspoken imbalance that is at play here, that again, I think women deserve more leeway when they make little mistakes, because we have had to birth the children, right? Men, are always on the back foot once we have birthed their children, because men haven't had to do the birthing. We have had to birth these babies, and so we deserve a few scot-free snogs in Ibiza. I'm just putting it out there. I know that Zach feels this inherent like guilt, this layer of guilt, and that's why he has to do all like, the rubbish jobs around the house, like, I don't know, fixing the drains. We've never had a broken drain, but if we did, Zach would fix it. The lawnmower, Zach has to mow the grass. Like, I get to choose which jobs are blue jobs and pink jobs in this house because I birthed the children. So actually, I think Zach owes me a few snogs and Ibiza, babe. I would like to think that Zach would forgive and forget. But if Zach did this while I was at home with the children, no! Absolutely not. Sackable offence. No!
Next one.
I nearly choked on an ice cube then. Jesus. Oh, careful out there, girls. My husband refuses to get the snip after we're done having kids because he's scared of the operation. But doesn't that mean that I have to be in birth control until I hit menopause? Hello, Miranda. Long story short, I've been with my partner for 9 years now. 2 kids down, currently pregnant with my 3rd. I'm definitely done having kids, and I know my partner is too. We meant to stop at 2, but the 3rd is, I guess, we'll call a happy accident. Congratulations. My 3rd boy, by the way, so wish me luck. Ouch! 3 boys. Oh, that sounds expensive and stinky. Could you imagine the BO when they all turn like 13, 14, the BO in that house? You got to be on it, girl. Also, sorry, but the food bill. That is going to be astronomical when they get in their teens. I remember my brother, he would come home from school and every day would make himself like a full English fry up before dinner. I've said to my partner, I think he should get a vasectomy, and he flat out refuses. He says he doesn't like the idea of someone coming near his balls with scissors. But this aggravates me because I've had 1 forceps delivery and an elective C-section, and I plan on having another C-section this time. But he won't even get a little snip. Why are men like this? Sorry, I just need a moan, and I thought I'd bring it to the pod to hear your thoughts. This is the difference between men and women, isn't it? Like, women will go through the most horrendous experience of their life, birth. And then a few months later, we'll be like, I think I could do that again. I think I could do that again. But men, oh my goodness, when it comes to their balls, they are so precious. Even like, when boys were younger and they wouldn't get tested for STIs because something had to be shoved up their weenie hole. And they would just wait for like the girls to say, oh yeah, I've been tested and you've got chlamydia, by the way. Thanks for that. But I know so many boys that have never been tested because they're scared of something being shoved up their weenie hole. How do you think we feel? How do you think we feel with what they call those clamp things that open our fannies up so you can slide things in and have internal examinations? Do you think we like the idea of that? You think I like the idea of having my arm sliced open so I can get a hormonal implant? You think we like the idea of having a metal coil shoved up our fanny holes? We get so conditioned from such a young age to believe that being kicked in the balls is like the worst pain imaginable. Just because they are such drama queens about it. They make it such a drama. But then you've got girls, having period pains and just like getting on with it. And then boys are surprised to learn that they are actually excruciatingly painful for a lot of women. They're like, oh, what? I thought you were just complaining for nothing. You see those videos of men wearing the period simulators. The girls put them on, they're like, oh yeah, that's pretty much my period. And the boys put them on, they're like writhing around like they've been shot. They're like, oh my God. Like, yeah, this is like the difference between men and women. We are expected to be on birth control from a very young age and go through all the horrendous symptoms that birth control causes, but men can't even handle like the cringeness of putting on a condom. Like, what if it breaks? What if they do it wrong? They just can't even handle like the physical cringiness of putting a condom. How are you going to handle the physical cringiness of having a vasectomy? Like, of course you can't. Of course you can't handle that. Putting on a condom, it just doesn't feel as good. It just doesn't feel as good. Like, yeah, you know what doesn't feel as good for us? Getting pregnant, having to deal with that, either getting rid of the pregnancy or having to give birth to the pregnancy. That doesn't feel as good either. But we'll do it. We do it. We take on that responsibility because you cannot even handle the cringiness of putting on a condom. Him saying that he doesn't enjoy the thought of it. Doesn't enjoy the thought of someone coming near him with scissors is just so annoying because, baby, do you think I enjoy the thought of squeezing a human out my vagina? Do you think I enjoy the thought of having a giant needle injected into my spine to numb my entire body and being cut open, layers and layers of my flesh being cut open to bring our child into this world? Do you think I enjoy the thought of my asshole puckering itself into oblivion while I squeeze this baby out? No, I do not enjoy the thought of it, but I do it for our family. And if you want to get anywhere near my labia in the future, you know what you have to do. Is it blackmail to refuse to have sex with someone until they have a vasectomy? Is that allowed? Maybe. Maybe it's blackmail. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you enjoyed having sex with your wife. I guess not. Maybe he'll be more up for having a vasectomy once this third baby's out. Genuinely. Because he's going to look around. The house is chaos. Everything's chaos. And is he going to risk having a fourth happy accident? I don't think so. Every time he's going to come near you, try and get it going, get a little bit sexy, you can turn to him and be like, oh yeah, baby, let's make a baby. And his weenie is going to shrivel so fast. Or you could just get the snip and all our problems would be solved. The choice is yours. Next. This mommy says, I listened to your latest episode about hosting and I'm in the exact same predicament. I am 30 weeks pregnant with my first baby. Congratulations. And it's my turn to host Christmas. Now I'll start by saying I love hosting. I love cooking and making the house up and deciding on the menu. I've got hair in my mouth. I'm basically Monica from Friends, aka a control freak. But I'm feeling really stressed already at the thought of hosting this year. I have broached the conversation that someone else hosts, but it went down like a lead balloon. Excuse me? I couldn't imagine someone saying, I don't really want to have you around for dinner tonight. And then me being like, no, I'm coming. Like, if you don't want me round, I'm not going to come round. I have the best I have the best house for hosting and other people's situations are far from ideal right now. Brother's going through a breakup, so technically no address. My parents are moving, so they're unsure about what state their house will be in. And my sister has a very small house and no money, which leaves me. I also know that I host the best Christmases. Go on, girl. That's like a nice badge to wear, isn't it? Where you're like known for giving the best Christmas. That's lovely. No one else is any good at cooking or planning. And if we're having Christmas at anyone else's house, it will be lots of sitting on the sofa watching TV and the vibe is just off. What's everyone else doing at Christmas? Apart from watching TV, sitting on the sofa, not talking to their family. What do? I feel like I'm breaking my family traditions by refusing to host and I'll be letting everyone down. Your family needs to get their head out their asses and remember, like, you are going to be in no fit state to host a full family Christmas. I don't know if there's like more kids in your family. It doesn't necessarily sound like there's lots of kids in your family, but still, like, what are you going to have? If you're 30 weeks, hey Google, how many weeks until Christmas?
13 weeks to hashtag Christmas.
13 weeks until Christmas? No. So you're going to have a 3-week-old baby. I thought it was like 20 weeks, so you could have a 10-week-old baby. 3 weeks, if you go full term to 40 weeks, we're going to have a 3-week-old and they want you to host Christmas. You can hardly stand up when you're three weeks postpartum. And you know for a fact they'll be like, oh, we'll help cook. No, you won't. No, you won't help cook. I know that you won't. You're going to show up. I'm going to have been prepping all night and all morning when I'm meant to be relaxing with my baby, breastfeeding. And we'll do the washing up. No, you won't. I know you won't. I'll tell you the conversations about Christmas, the Christmas drama has already started in my family. I've already had to have a few awkward conversations about what I am up for and what I'm not up for. And what I'm not up for is family. No, joking. And what I'm not up for is like a big family affair with lots of noise and pressure. I don't want to do it. I kind of thought that everyone secretly enjoyed quiet Christmases. I didn't know that some people don't enjoy just like a quiet, chilled out Christmas. I mean, lockdown Christmas, anyone? Hello, the dream. Apart from, a few Zoom calls with the family, it was utter freedom to just do whatever you wanted. And that was my favorite Christmas up until the last Christmas that I had. That was just me, Zach, and Woody. Oh, the dream. I was in the kitchen. I was cooking away with my family. They were in here, playing games, doing whatever they wanted to do. Went on a little walk. Like, it was just beautiful. And recently I got told that Christmas is about family. It's about family. Like, as in the whole family. But to me, it's not. To me, Christmas is about cheese. And you know what? I can enjoy cheese with or without you there. In fact, I'll probably enjoy the cheese a little bit more without you there because I don't have to share it with you. Christmas is not necessarily about family. It's just like about whatever you want it to be about. And I do think once you have a baby, you have the freedom to put yourself first, especially an actual newborn fresh out the womb. Like, you're going to be still at the stage where like you're bleeding. Like, you don't want to be worrying about cooking the potatoes and going and changing your panty liner. Like, it's just not. No, your tits are going to be hard and painful. You're going to be expressing or breastfeeding, and your baby could be crying and screaming and all the rest of it. And it's just, no, your house is going to be an utter mess. Like, you do not want to be stressing about hosting for Christmas, and you need to assert the boundaries. How often do you hear that? That is such a buzzword now, isn't it? Like, people are like, I'm talking about my boundaries. I have boundaries. Respect my boundaries. But it is true. You've got to just assert your boundaries. And I think when these situations arise, instead of having like an all conversation of like, hey guys, I just don't think I'm a little bit stressed about Christmas this year. And like, no. You go in and you say, guys, these are the options. This is the situation and these are the options. It's funny. I actually say that so much to my son that he started repeating it back to me. He says, Mummy, these are the options. You're not necessarily aware of your patterns and like the things that you say so much until your child repeats it back to you. You're like, oh, you sound like me. But you just go to him, you say, listen, these are the options. I'm not hosting, so we could go out for a Christmas lunch. We can meet out. We could do it at someone else's house, or we could all just have a break this year and just have a quiet Christmas at home, like in our own houses. It's up to you guys. Those are the options. Let me know which one everyone prefers. I am absolutely not hosting, period. Done. They're not going to just like turn up at your house on Christmas morning, are they? Unless they are psychotic. I feel like Christmas drama starts earlier every single year. It's TK Maxx and HomeSense. They bring out the Christmas decorations and then it gets in our brain that like, oh, Christmas is coming. We need to make plans. We need to set the plans in stone. And it just puts pressure on everyone. Like, TK Maxx, can you stop it? Christmas was first mentioned in August in my family. Like, I've not even put my flip-flops away from my hollybobs yet. Would you just let me catch my breath? Question, not hating on it. It looks nice. But you know when girls get their nails done and they have the chrome O on their nails? Again, why did we start doing that? Why is everyone doing that now? I find trends really quite creepy. Regardless of how nice the trend is, I find it weird how we all like, it comes in waves and we all like start doing the same things. I also find it weird, like baby names and how they come around and everyone started naming their babies certain names. I'm like, why do we do this? It's like we think we are these individual beings, but actually we're just like, we are a monolith. Oh my God, that is so deep. That is so deep. Just deep that for a second, mums. Just deep that. It's time for Happy News of the Week. This is the point in the episode where I try and lighten your mood because the world is going to the toilet and someone's got to bring some joy out here. Hey, someone's got to do it. Oh, this is a nice one. Anything to do with animals is always going to be heartwarming, isn't it? These animals are in a zoo, but we'll look past that. We'll ignore it because I have been to this zoo and it is a very nice one, okay? It's one of the good ones. The title of the article is "Unlikely Animals Snuggling Together in the Denver Zoo Have Melted the Internet with Their Cuteness." We could all learn a few things from the animal world. This week's lesson comes courtesy of a capybara and a howler monkey, two animals you would not expect to see each other in close contact in the wild. The world's largest rodent, capybaras, are typically found in marshy grasslands and swamps. Howler monkeys spend most of their time up in trees, living in the dense canopies of Central and South American forests. But captivity in don't mention captivity, we're trying to be positive! Baya, the 16-year-old monkey, was visited by a 6-year-old Rebecca of the very docile capybara species. Currently, the exhibit features Baya and Rebecca as the only females in an enclosure filled with other male animals. So the females have looked past their differences and everything else that might divide them. Instead, Rebecca and Baya have become best friends, spending tons of time cuddling and piggybacking across their enclosure. Pictures of the animals in various snuggling poses were posted to social media recently, and the images have been spreading joy across the internet ever since. Animals can teach us a lot, a Facebook commenter named Maureen wrote. Love one another. We're all in this together. We humans could take a page out of their playbook, added Anne, another Facebook commenter. Kindness, sharing, mutual respect. Once again, love is reimagined through nature. And if that ain't a stark reminder that us girls need to stick together, I don't know what is. Thank you for joining us, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode and we will see you again. Who's we? Me will see you again next week. If you have not rated and reviewed this podcast, just do it! Just do it! Nike swoosh, just do it. Okay, give it 5 stars, nothing else. And if you would like to support this podcast directly, you can do so by following the link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can donate the price of a coffee or more. If you have anything going on in your lives, please message me on Instagram. Even if you just want a little moan, let's air it out on the podcast, hey? And if you have enjoyed this episode, please send it to someone that you think will also enjoy it. That is the best way to spread this podcast and get more listeners. I really, really want to hit 1,000 followers on Spotify by the end of the year. Make my dreams come true. Make sure you're following this podcast on all platforms. We've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got Apple Pods, YouTube, and Spotify. And I will see you next week. Hopefully, as long as I haven't given birth. I will see you next week. I love you. Have a beautiful day. You deserve it. Mwah! Struggling to breathe with a beach ball belly.